Hello and welcome to the podcast of International Stuttering Association. So we are very excited to start our podcast to know the world, who we are, and to build the communication bridge, not among the individuals who stammer, but with the people uh, around the world. As together, we can make this world a better place. And in this podcast today, we have a very special guest. Uh, that is the chairman of International Stuttering uh, Association, Mr. Douglas Scott. He will be joining us today and sharing his life uh, experiences, his struggles, and so much more. So please welcome Mr. Douglas Scott.
Hi
Welcome.
there, Ahmad. How are you?
I'm fine and good as always. I hope so. Yeah. So, Doug, do share with us your experience when you were in the uh, 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 college, being a teen uh, ager, and and also being a stutterer. It's very difficult to talk to people. And there, you went there, you were studying, and in the surroundings in the class, they are very pretty girls. So, like, you, at that time, you liked a girl, and you thought, "Oh my God, I can't speak well, so uh, I don't want to talk to that girl." Or you said, "Okay, hey, let's go, let's do it." So you share that.
Okay. Well, actually, that's a good place to start, actually, because in those days, my stutter was extremely severe, actually, and it really controlled my life. It determined a lot of my social interactions, to be honest with you. College was very, very difficult, both as far as the academics and then, of course, the speech. This was before I had any really good speech therapy. Then also, it was before I sort of accepted the fact that I was a person that stutters. Didn't really accept this thing very much. Didn't like it. I hated it. And it was awful, to be honest with you. Um, and I remember there was a class that I took. So my stuttering really was extremely difficult in this class. My stutter was not necessarily a major problem as far as interaction with friends or girls. Now, of course, I'm just like, pretty much a lot of us. I would think twice before I would ask a girl out on a date or go up to a girl. But I would speak to someone. I would say hi. I wasn't. That did not really. The stutter did not really stop me from having a lot of female friends. But stuttering definitely made a major impact on this one course that I had at the University of Texas at Austin. It was a management course, and I will keep it real short. And as a part of a team of three people, we were given the sort of fake company to manage. So you manage the company, and you start out with this company with a set number of dollars, and of course, at the end of a certain period of time, they wanted to see were you able to grow this company? Were you able to increase the profits? Were you able to increase the assets? Were you able to increase the overall value of the company? And then after you did that, there was various things you had to work on: the sales, the products, the manufacturing, all of that. And then you were supposed to present your results to the class. This class was a class of about 30 people or so. And from the moment this assignment was handed out, of course, I thought about only one thing and one thing only: I didn't think about all of the work about the sales and management and marketing and all of that. I thought about, oh my God, I'm going to have to stand up in front of this class and speak. I'm going to have to say something. And that was terrifying. And so for weeks on this project, that's all I really thought about. I did the content. I knew I was fairly good at doing content, and I could do all of the work of the project. But the verbal, the oral presentation was something that just really kept me up and awake a lot of nights. Finally, so we get to this time that it was able to present. There were three people. We were only given roughly 3 to 4 minutes between three people. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take me at least a half a minute, if not longer, just to say my name. Anyway, I got up there, sweaty palms, nervous, anxiety issues, real high. And unfortunately, it was one of the worst experiences of my life. Just like I thought it would do, or just like I thought would happen, it took me at least a minute, maybe 45 seconds. It seemed like it took forever just to say my name. I was able to, get through it in a short period of time, but I did not do very well on the oral presentation. In fact, the college professor, talked to me after class and say, "Look, I'm not going to be able to pass you on the oral presentation, but I see all of the content and all the work that you did. So overall, you will pass the project, but the oral presentation was just very, very poor." And so that is basically the major um, memory that is not so good that I have for my time in college when it comes to my stutter. Everything else I was able to do, had great friends, socialize and things like that, because I've always been able to do that. But the oral presentation in my class was something that was a huge, um, it was a negative, it was a downer. It impacted my emotional um, state when it comes to my stutter.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Like I think people, especially when you are studying, um, uh, I think now things have are a bit changed. I hope so, because I was studying in Norway. The environment was very comforting. The professors were. I mean, back then in the days, that was not the case. Yeah, so you talked about awareness. So sorry, acceptance. So the moment my life changed, when I accepted that I am an individual who stammered. This is my reality. I have to accept that, and, and we also see that there are many people who stutter, that they're still struggling. They have crossed their 30s, they have crossed their 40s, but they are still struggling because they are not uh, accepting who they are. So what are your thoughts on that, and how people can accept that, okay, I am an individual who stammers or stutter. This is I am. So now from here I have to start my life o- over uh, again. Yeah, do share that.
Ahmad, that is a very good point. And this subject is very, very important and critical at this stage in the entire stuttering world: acceptance. And that word itself has different meanings for a lot of different people, but it is the primary topic, I think, for almost all of us all around the world, is this thing called acceptance. And it means different things to a lot of people. And I'll try to, get it brief here, but acceptance, in my opinion, does not necessarily mean that you do not try, or it's not okay to either take speech therapy or to do some other things, meditation, or to find some other medical yoga. Some people do try various pharmaceuticals that do various things to them to enable them to reduce their stutter. You know, there are some people in our community that basically it is white and black. If you accept your stutterance, you do not do anything to modify your speech. You do not do anything to really alter your normal speaking pattern. And that's the only definition that they have for acceptance. I disagree with that. Okay. We're all individuals and we all have our individual journey. And I am a profound advocate of people deciding which way, how they will best navigate their own journey when it comes to stuttering. And so for me, acceptance means that you realize you are not a fluent person. You will never be a fluent person. And what's more important, that is okay. And it is truly okay to stutter. It is truly okay to be a person that stutters. At the same time, you can avail yourself of speech therapy, other communication classes, different things, meditation, as I said before, different ways that put yourself in the best place to convey, to communicate in a way that you are comfortable with, in the way that you want to communicate with others. That's basically what acceptance, means to me. Um, yeah. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, well, it is. I think you are right, because when we think that we stutter, like this is okay to set up, we make peace deep inside. That this is who I am. So now I have to move on from that, and for that I need to do what. Then you have shared a few things people do to improve themselves. I think this is the real uh, essence of acceptance. So,
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I always say is that yes, it's okay to stutter, and it's okay to do things to reduce your stutter if that is what you choose to do. The most important thing, though, is whatever you do, it should enable you to be who you want to be, and it should enable you to present yourself in the way that you would like to present yourself. Okay, and that's the important thing. And I always like to say is that what I try to advocate to people is that that you control you get in control of your stutter, and don't let stuttering control you. And that's the biggest thing. Don't let stuttering control every action. Whether you ask a girl out, whether you pick up a phone, whether you speak to a single person or to hundreds. Don't let stuttering be the reason you don't do that if that is what you really want to do.
yeah, exactly. So you shared that your life turned, around. I think in a better way. Like that was a turning point when you took uh, therapy. In my own experience too, when we take therapy from the uh, uh, professionals, like it really help us. So I've seen people who don't take therapy, and they say that they are the champions. So they just go on the YouTube and Google and do things, and things will go better. So I think in this case, around 90% people don't succeed. So what you want to say to those people, because I think, like in case of physical disease, when we are sick, So we go to the doctor for treatment and medication. Stuttering don't kill us, but stuttering do uh, affect our quality of life, and this is really huge. As individual who stutter, we don't understand that, but those who have improved their lives, they've seen that wow, that has changed a lot. So what you would uh, like to say to those people who run away from treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you are correct in that, generally, in general terms, stuttering doesn't kill us. However, oftentimes stuttering can impact us in a way that we wish we were, we wish we could disappear. Okay. And stuttering can have a profound effect on the quality of our lives. Sometimes it can make us not want to get out of bed. Okay. We can become depressed. We can become anxious. We can become antisocial, not because we don't love people, but because we know that when we get among people, we're going to have to talk, and they're going to find out the secret that we are trying to hide. Um, for me, one of the other things that I have been trying to convey in the things that I do in the stuttering community is this thing about self-analysis. For me, once I accepted the fact that I'm a person that stutters, and I use a person that stutters over the term stutterer for a reason. Once I accepted the fact that I am a person that stutters, I will never be fluent. Once I accepted the fact there's no cure, once I accepted the fact there's no therapy or anything that I am aware of that is a 100% guarantee to stop my stutter. Once I realized that, and also, I also realized I went into this deep self-analysis, and I encourage every person that stutters to really engage in self-analysis about themselves, about their stutter, and more importantly, when they stutter, what is going on with them. And I can go through a whole list of items that I myself have started to look at and examine when I stutter in certain environments, whether it's a workshop or a presentation at work or on the phone or wherever. What are some of the things that is going on with me mentally, emotionally, physically, and psychologically? Once I realized that, I also realized something else about me, in that I can produce a lot of fluent speech under certain circumstances. And so for me, once I engaged in self-analysis, I realized that there were certain things that I needed to learn how to do when it comes to speaking. One of the biggest things I figured out was my breathing patterns and things like that. I won't go into great detail now on that, but I realized that I needed to know certain things about speech. So I found, after years and years, I found this wonderful program in 1988. Okay, and it's called Precision Fluency Shaping Program, taught by a guy who's a person himself that stutters and a person that effectively uses the techniques that he teaches. And so I went to a 3-week intensive program where they broke down everything. I really went into the physical production of speech, words, sounds, breathing, and all of that. And that therapy, along with my immersion in a support group of the NSA, together is what enabled me to turn the corner and become a person that doesn't let stuttering control him anymore. And that's basically it. Those two things together is what worked for me. It wasn't an either or. It wasn't just the support group. It wasn't just the therapy. Because this particular therapy only focused on the technical production of words and speech. It did not focus on the emotional, the psychological, all of the things on the iceberg that are beneath the water. It didn't focus on all of those things. It only focused on the physical production of speech.
Well, yeah, you are right, because when we take therapy, we know more um, about ourselves, like who we are, how we talk, and what will really help us to change. And in all that, uh, we could the support community, the support groups are very important. It's like if we, even we are not taking therapy, we are just going to the support groups. That's really help us a lot. We know that we are not alone in the world. There are few people like us, so it's all good.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Again, um, I cannot say enough how important to be in a group where you're not alone. To borrow a slogan from the NSA, where you are fully supported and where people there really know what you're going through. And so, I mean, it is so important. It's so empowering.
Yeah, exactly. So like you have done so much. You've worked for like 30 years in the industry, and you were with the NSA. You mentored and supported so many individuals stammer. You are also into the um, uh, I- um, ISA now.
Yes.
You are the chairperson, so like you have uh, been through and traveled so much till here. Still you feel that due to your stammering you are still you still feel the fear of speaking, or you have gone over that?
Good question. Very good question. In general, no, I do not feel the fear of stuttering anymore. Stuttering is not the first thing that I think about when I get up in the morning. For many, many, many years, uh, 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 Ahmad, I did. Um, I I don't think about stuttering per se anymore, but occasionally though, just when I think I don't have to worry about this thing at all, there's no situation I can't handle, everything will be fine. Stuttering tends to rear its ugly head and say, "Wait a minute, I'm still here." So there are times that I'll, go into a situation that I've been in many, many, many times, and and I'm fairly fluent, most of the time in those situations, and all of a sudden I cannot use all of the things, all of the tools that I have, and I just, and so much so that my friends will turn to me and say, "Douglas, what's going on? You're stuttering." I'm like, "Yes, I'm a person that stutters," and it's almost like some of the people forget that I'm a person that stutters because I have so much fluency, right? And I go into environments that I don't have my head down, I'm up, I'm speaking, I'm doing various things. But every now and then, stuttering rears his ugly head and grabs me by the throat and says, "Oh, hey, I'm still here." So it keeps me grounded. I don't have the fear anymore. I pretty much do all the things. If there's a phone call that I have to make, I don't hesitate to make that phone call. However, one of the things that when my stuttering becomes a little bit more pronounced than in the past, it keys me into, okay, Douglas, you have to get back to some of the techniques and tools that you use. You have to do a little practice, and you have to get back in tune with some of the things that you've learned that helps you produce more words in a fluent manner. And that's what it sort of tells me. But I don't have any fear. I don't have that fear that I had before. Um, I don't get anxiety over an impending speaking situation. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, like in the uh, intense situations, like if I talk about myself, my stammering is enhanced. I have worked on that, so it's about low, but still there are chances about 50% that I will stammer. So same, I think, with you. Like with time, we get over the fear, but that is still in back in the sub conscious. It's still there. It's very
Well, here's the good
it's,
news. Here's the good thing. Here's the thing that has given me some freedom here, is because um, I'm not trying to be something I'm not anymore. Okay. I'm not trying to be fluent. I'm just trying to use the techniques and the tools that I have to produce words. But here's the great news. Even though I produce a lot of fluent speech, when I stutter, it doesn't crash my world anymore. It doesn't make me feel depressed. It doesn't make me feel bad. It doesn't make me feel ashamed. I don't apologize for stuttering. Okay. So that's the freedom. That's where I am now, is that in my journey now, I know I'm going to stutter. It's going to happen. Sometimes it may happen in an unbelievable wrong time. But when it does, I know that it's okay. And that is the difference now, is that I will stutter, and I have stuttered before, and I will stutter again, and I'm okay with that now, whereas before I would never be okay with that. Anybody who knows me, oftentimes people will meet me the first time, and most likely I'm not going to stutter. It all depends. And they'll meet me a second time, I didn't stutter. They'll meet me a third time. My goodness, I'm stuttering. They're like, what's wrong? What's going on? And now I tell them exactly what's going on. I'm a person that stutters. And so you will hear me stutter sometimes. So that's the freedom I have now. Whereas before, I tried to hide it. I didn't want people to find out my deep, dark secret. Now I really don't care.
yeah, this freedom is the main thing that helps us to break the shackles that are here, that we can't do something. Okay, I'm just trapped here. So this freedom take us out uh, from this cubicle, and we are ready to see the world uh, with the lens of, yes, I can do this. So I think
Absolutely, absolutely. And to
change the
borrow,
whole uh, 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 perspective.
absolutely, absolutely. And to borrow another phrase, I'm not sure exactly where it came from, um, but to truly understand that we who stutter, our voice does matter. And what we have to say is important. It does not matter how we say it. And that is what each of us have to learn and have to come to. But that's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen instantly. It takes a while. And again, as I said, it has taken me over 30 years. So now hopefully though, in today's age where we have so many support groups all over the world, it's so wonderful, so awesome. And then we can connect with each other through Zoom, and all of the other apps on the internet. We can get that support quicker, faster, learn things about stuttering sooner, that will enable us to have a higher quality of life and enable us to live our best life. And that's basically what I'm involved with the stuttering community for, but I'm involved in all of the various NSA, ISA organizations, why I'm still so active, even though stuttering is not the most important thing to me in my life currently. I will always be active and involved because I want to help people learn more about their stutter and to be able to get control of it in a way that they choose that will enable them to live their best life.
Well, in your case, I think the stammering has pushed you to do, great things, to do things selfless towards the community. Like the lens of stuttering has, has given you a new uh, perspective. You were in uh, NSA, and then you were also the uh, pa- part of you other stuttering organizations, and now in the ISA. So how uh, is your experience so far in ISA?
Right, right. Before I answer that, I would also like to highlight that I have helped. I have been inspired by so many people just like me who stutter before me and people that are there now. That I'm not that unique. There are literally hundreds of people all across this world that are doing the very same things that I'm doing and have reached this particular point just like me. And they have helped me. They've inspired me. They have challenged me. They have made me understand that I could do that too. So I've been helped by so many people. As far as the ISA, again, because I worked for a French and German owned international steel company for about 30 years. I dealt with a lot of international matters. So when I was told about the ISA, and I said, oh, I mean, that's interesting. And then so I found out about it. I had a chance to go overseas. Overseas. That's what we say here in the USA. I had a chance to go over, and then I saw and I went to a conference there, and it was so interesting. There was some similarities, and it was amazing that no matter what language we speak, what culture we come from, some of the commonalities of stuttering, it was the same. Now there were different ways of doing things. There were different. There was some refreshing aspects of a stuttering group that is in Europe or in Asia or South America that is so unique and exciting. And I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed the international culture. In general, I found that the organizations, and it's different. Like in Europe, it appears that they are not so much in about reducing the stutter necessarily, but they are more about just being free with it, which is fine, no problem, and just letting it exist. I'm not sure how much therapy they engage in overseas. I think some do. I mean, I don't know that for a fact or not. But in general, I found that the international stuttering community is very open, it's inclusive, it's very exciting. I love it. I'm inspired by it. And there's so many talented people like yourself, of course, and I can just name names all over the world that help me, that encourage me, that motivate me to continue to help others in our community.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like this thought not only help us to be hopeful, but also to move a step ahead to help other people. So being in ISA and being the chairperson of ISA, uh, what you think the future is, and how um, ISA can impact the stuttering community uh, 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 across the globe.
Excellent, excellent point. In fact, that's where we find ourselves today. Is that the ISA currently is in a self-analysis mode itself, and we are trying to figure out exactly where we fit into this new world. Because of COVID, and when the whole world was pretty much shut down, and we could not have a lot of in-person meetings, activities, conferences, um, and we found this, this means of communicating through video chat, through Zoom, through Meet, Microsoft Teams, all of the other applications that engage in um, video, audio, video communication. That has changed the world. It's changed the world in the landscape, actually, of the stuttering community. There have been other organizations that have grown just in the last 2 to 3 years because of the ability for us to have internet, audio, video communication. So we can start an organization and grow instantly because of it. We don't have to remain confined within our borders. So that has presented some challenges for the ISA, which was pretty much the only premier international organization for people who study in the world. We have other groups that have started to broaden their local base and have gone internationally. For example, Stanley. We have also a very awesome organization that has done tremendous work in a very short period of time, the World Stuttering Network. That was co-founded by some very good people that I know. A good friend of mine, Tom Sharstein. So with that though, the ISA has to evolve. We are starting to add various services and programs that we've never had before. One new feature is this means of communication that we're doing now, which is the podcast. And it was the great, brilliant idea of our wonderful person from Pakistan, uh, Ahmed. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I'm still trying to learn that. Anyway, so the ISA is starting to understand that we have to provide more services, more programs. We're also understanding that we need to add more volunteers in order to do the work of the ISA, which is to connect stuttering organizations all over the world. That's our major focus, and to provide communication, support when we can to other groups in conjunction with other international stuttering groups that have started to pop up in the last year or two. And that's our challenge. That's our focus, is to remain viable and relevant and valuable to other stuttering organizations around the world.
Well, yeah, this is the main challenge for us, because due to the technology, the world has shrunken, has become this much. So we don't have distance. There is no virtual distance, but there are only the physical uh, uh, distance. So yeah, this is the issue. Like all other organizations, but I think we can do this because we are now, doing the uh, out of the box thinking, and we are going to, um, adapt new things, and we both are, and the board is, hopeful uh, uh, in this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, we have a very talented board. It's a diverse board, um, and it's actually it's probably one of the most diverse boards that the ISA has ever had, and that was not by accident. That was on purpose. That was something that I worked hard to develop. It's a very diverse board, and not only as far as race and culture and religion, but also as far as age, as far as perspective as well. And with that, my hope is that new ideas, new ways of doing things will be offered and shared, and that the ISA will be able to evolve and be able to be, as I said before, a relevant and valuable asset and impact within the stuttering community going forward.
Yeah. So now the podcast is moving uh, uh, towards the end. So would you like to give a message to people who stammers, uh, uh, around the globe?
Well, thank you again for uh, doing this, Ahmad. You know, it is a
Thank you so much.
great idea, and I'm
Thank you.
glad that you were able to put this forward. Um, the only thing I would like to say is that we are in a very uh, wonderful, exciting time as in the world of stuttering. We have so many great, wonderful people that are doing a lot of great work all around the world. And we are in a time of taking all these various organizations and these people that are doing things and starting to work together, which is something that we have not always done in the past. So I would like to say we will continue to do that. We will continue to work with other groups, and we will continue to do what we do in ways that we do them, different ways. Different organizations will do the various things that are different. Some organizations will do things that are the same. Well, all of it is into serving people who stutter around the world. And that is my message, is that the ISA and Stamily and Stamma and the Irish organization, the Pakistan organization,
Say,
South
say,
Africa, Australia, China, all around the world. You know, I can go on and on and on with the large number of organizations. All of us are beginning to work more and more together to provide support to anybody who stutters, no matter where they are. Now, one area of the world that's very, very difficult to reach is Africa. The infrastructure, the internet infrastructure in Africa is not as prevalent. It is not as strong. And so it makes it hard for stuttering groups to reach the people there. But we are trying, and we will continue to try to reach people in Africa, all parts of Africa, and other parts of Asia or anywhere in the world where they are not being reached. So all of us together, we can do this. We can do it.
yes, we have uh, done in the past, and we can also do now. And this organization was the beacon of hope, and now, and we, work hard to make it uh, better, to become a beacon of hope for the generations to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With that, Doug, thank you so much for uh, taking our time. Like we were trying to plan this for like last 3 months, and we have done this
Absolutely.
today.
Yeah.
But
Again, I'm so sorry that it took so long for all of us to start to do this. Part of that was on me. I was a little distracted over the last several months, but again, I'm so glad that we're able to do this, and we would. I look forward to the many podcasts to come.
sure, me too. And again, thank you so much for sharing your experience and thoughts, and people who who will watch this podcast, and they will learn a lot from your experience. So
Well,
thank you
again,
so
thank
much.
you.
So,
Thank you so much. And one last thing, for those, if you'd like to learn more about the ISA, please go to isastutter.org, and you will find lots of information of the ISA. ISA has been around since about 1995 or so, so it's been around a long time. So isastutter.org, please. Thank you.
thank you uh, so much. And with that, we have uh, uh, completed the podcast, and I hope you guys will love this and share this in the certain income community, and also with your family. And don't forget to uh, like, follow and subscribe the ISA social media channels. Thank you. I see you. Take care. Bye.